YouTube, back with another video. I wanted to make this very quick and detailed video on how chaos breeds opportunity. I do believe that a lot of successful people understood this concept. A lot of business people understand this concept as well. But in but there's a catch to it that I feel like a lot of people, especially successful and business owners, they try to control this energy, but it's not something you can. But the reason why chaos breeds opportunity is because chaos in itself is a very changing energy. And that's why I said that a lot of people try to control it, but this is something that it can't be controlled. Um, and since it's a changing energy, right, it allows for things to be destroyed, right? So, and it breaks down literally order. Anything that has order, chaos breaks it down. Now, I believe in life we should have some type of order, but the thing is that eventually we have to remember that order in itself will eventually become outdated, right? And that's the beautiful thing about chaos, is that chaos in itself teaches us that nothing is permanent and that we shouldn't be living in a life of permanence. So it really, what chaos actually does, it makes us rely on resilience, adaptation, and it makes us rely on the natural laws of life. So when people see chaos, a lot of times people see chaos and they're like, oh, why is this happening to me? And this is something that we shouldn't be looking bad about. We should be looking at chaos as this energy that's actually trying to bring something new into your life, right? If you look at life, we have all of these different seasons, right? We have summer, we have spring, we have winter, we have fall. And all of these changing natures within the season tells us and shows us that nothing is permanent, right? We can see this in our day-to-day life, how everything goes through a sequence of life and death, building and destruction. And we have to understand that our lives have to go through that sequence as well. And we have to understand that that's why chaos comes in to our lives, right? And sometimes it kind of confuses things, it kind of like changes things, and it rewires things because it's trying to get you out of basically your old way. And it's actually showing you that your old way needs to die. Now, I could get into a little bit of the concepts of basically what happens when you don't allow chaos to come into your life and you're trying to hold this energy within yourself. This is how a lot of diseases inside of our bodies happen, and this is ultimately why I believe a lot of people become depressed and have these mood type of disorders, is because they don't know how to change with the currents of life, right? If you see a surfer and they're riding the wave, a surfer has to like, I've never, that's one of my goals inside of life. I definitely want to go surfing. But if you watch surfers, a lot of them, it takes time for them to learn how to ride that wave. A lot of them, have to look at, what's going on in the forecast. They have to pay attention to certain aspects, from what I've heard. And it takes them time to kind of get up on that board and ride that wave. But when they're riding that wave, there is so much life. There is so much zeal. There is so much enthusiasm that comes throughout their body when they're doing what they're doing. And this is what I'm trying to show people is, we shouldn't be so uptight when things happen in our life. I truly believe that chaos in itself is not something. I believe that the harder you're trying to hold on to something, I believe chaos is going to show you. It's going to match that any energy that you're trying to hold on to, probably even 10 times more than the force that you're trying to apply with that thing that you're holding, right? So when I'm out in life and I'm seeing certain things, and let's say for example, we buy homes, right? We take out large amounts of loans for homes, either for a certain amount of time, maybe it's for generations. And if you see a lot of these homes people buy, sometimes these homes, they're kind of like rebuilders. They're homes that people have lived in before. And we try to hold on to these things for very long amounts of time. And the thing is, when I started to see this mindset, I started to look at things and I'm like, people would see that as normal, and people talk about, oh, generational wealth, we need to hold this for, but like, for me personally, I don't see this as normal, right? Uh, um, Holding on to materialistic things will, and if you ever hear from the ancients, ancient teachings, they teach you why holding on to things leads to your demise. And when you start to look at the concept of chaos, you start to realize why it does, right? So I learned this by reading and looking at, back then, I was like looking up, you know, the Native Americans, and, how they used to build tools and how they used to build, like, little huts and things like that. And a lot of times, they built things and then, they kind of just left it in, they would leave their tools behind, they would leave their things behind, because they would create from the earth. But none of these things that they built, it's none of them they really like took with them. You know what I mean? If they needed possibly something, they took it with them. But they had skills already, so they already had skills in their mindset. If they went to a different location, they could already create that thing. And this is where you get the concept of things in the cloud, or you get with the Apple, right? They store things in the cloud. That is literally us as humans, right? We store memories of our skills in our mind. So when we're going to different locations, when chaos happens, we can already rebuild. And that's how we're supposed to actually live our life, right? That's how we're supposed to actually move. We're supposed to actually move in a skill based mindset, instead of a mindset of holding. But let me know what you guys think about this video. What is your thoughts about chaos? Like, what do you think about it? Do you think it's like, do you think it brings harm to your life? Did this video show you a different outlook of it? And I hope that I could show you a different outlook on what chaos truly is, because I feel like once you see this energy as a beautiful energy, rather than something that's doing harm to your life, I feel like it really, really makes a beautiful difference in who you are. And I believe this is something we should be teaching our children about, so they can learn in life to learn how to adapt when things come. So peace. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.